The most encouraging encouragement. Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. This is the most appropriate time to encourage all my brothers and sisters. Some of us could do with some real encouragement just about now. Some of us Christians are having a hard life. Some of us live in war zones. Some of us are persecuted. Some of us just cannot make it because of sickness and diseases. There are all kinds of things that leave us discouraged and crestfallen. Well, today I have just what you need to give you a pep in your step, a booster shot in your arm, a thrill that will just bring you unimaginable joy. You need to know that the church of which you are a part is in her greatest moments. I believe that the church is on the fast track, heading up to the grand day when the trumpet shall sound. So let us start at the end. I get excited when I hear people read this seminal chapter on the rapture. Unfortunately, we love to read it at the funeral service of a beloved Christian, but let us move it into mainstream conversation. Have a Bible study session among your friends and study 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 13 to 18. Now, let me suggest you cheat at the beginning. Rush down to the last verse in this great dissertation which says, "Therefore, encourage one another with these words." 1 Thessalonians 4 and verse 18. So, are you ready to be encouraged? Verse 13, "Brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope." What an amazingly beautiful place to start. We're having this discussion for those in our churches who do not have a clue about this thing called the rapture. We know that Jesus is coming again, but help me to understand it. So the writer says, you are just the right person and everyone like you, which is why we're writing this. You are not sure what will happen to those Christians who are dead, right? Some of you are nervous about whether it is right to cremate the remains of a Christian. Others of you are not sure what happens to your Christian family members when they die. You are in the right conversation today. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again. And so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. So hear me well. You are comfortable with the truth that Jesus, the one who saved you, he died and 3 days later he rose from the dead. Well, guess what? God will do the same thing for every Christian who has died. He has authorized and put plans in place for every Christian who has died, whether cremated or buried or eaten by sharks. That person will come back to life just like Jesus did. How's that going to happen, you ask? According to the Lord's word, we tell you that we who are still alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep. So God has it all planned out like this. The Christians who are alive on that great getting up morning are not going to leave earth before the Christians who have died, however recent. The dead ones, they get first dibs. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Pay close attention here. There are lots of things happening in quick succession. Jesus himself is going to descend from heaven, and this is where it gets super exciting. Jesus will come down with a shout, or as the NIV says, with a loud command. It has to be loud for all the dead Christians and who are laid to rest on planet Earth. They are all going to hear the command at the same time. They're going to hear the voice of the archangel, and they're going to hear the trumpet call of God. When they do, not if they do, but when they do, wherever their remains are, they are going to miraculously rise up from that spot alive, my friend, 100%. 100% alive. I mean, they're not coming from the grave or wherever and take a step at stop at their former church. They will rise up in the air. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. This is my favorite part. This is so thrilling. Just imagine for a moment, the living Christians, they get to see the dead Christians going up past their window while they are driving past the cemetery. All over, dead Christians will be soaring up to heaven. While you are enthralled and ecstatic at this great sight, you and every living Christian will suddenly begin to rise as well. And former dead Christians and present day living Christians, they will all join together. One huge gigantic sea of floating people will be heading into heaven. They will meet Jesus on their way up there, because when Jesus descends that day from heaven, his feet will not touch the ground. I should tell you something that I borrow from elsewhere in the Bible. It says in black and white, our human body is not going to heaven. No, sir. Think about it. How about God admit the dead version of Christians to come soaring into heaven? This is what is going to happen. Listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed in a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed. For the perishable must clothe itself with the imperishable, and the mortal with immortality. When the perishable has been clothed with the imperishable and the mortal with immortality, then the saying that is written will come true: death has been swallowed up in victory. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 51 to 55. And then what? And so we will be with the Lord forever. Incidentally, forever has no final date. It literally means forever. Now, you can understand this last verse that I started off with a while ago, right? Therefore, encourage one another with these words. My friends, be encouraged today with the greatest encouragement you could ever hear. The Lord is coming back for his people.